Good morning. And in 2017, I had the privilege of participating in the Reconciliation Kokoda Trek. When prompted in early 2017, what I wanted to gain from participating in the Kokoda Trek, I responded that I wanted to learn about my ancestors and their experiences in Kokoda, the mental and physical battle that soldiers and locals struggled through, and I can quite confidently state I learned far more than that. Coming from Gurindji heritage, I was interested particularly in the Indigenous point of view and the theme of reconciliation on the Kokoda Trek. On the Kokoda Trek, we learnt about Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal soldiers. While they were there, they left behind the colour of their skin and showcased their ability to work with each other despite the situation back home in Australia. As the late great Martin Luther King Jr. once famously said, "Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity." In relation to Kokoda, unlike back in Australia, the ignorance and conscientious stupidity, as coined by King, was challenged as if not for trusting their Aboriginal brothers, they could ultimately lose their life, and if not that, then further Australia. Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal soldiers ultimately had to rely on each other, trust each other, and have faith in each other to ensure that they won the war and that ultimately they returned home safely. While travelling on the Kokoda Trek, I like to think that I experienced, at least in some regard, a little piece of what the soldiers experienced. However, in reality, I know I experienced nothing compared to what they did, but I still thought I was going through hell. The sticky mud, the sweaty clothes, and the treacherous rain was only a slim resemblance to what those soldiers went through on Kokoda. At least while I was on Kokoda Trek, I had my friends by my side, while the Aboriginal soldiers had to leave not even being considered humans to fight in a war with their oppressors by their side. They had so much to overcome and yet push through the challenges to fight the war and ultimately end up making it back to Australia. Although when they returned to Australia, they still did not gain any rights. I'm proud of what they did. As a final statement, I would like to share with you some words I wrote shortly before we embarked on the Kokoda Trek, and I believe it still rings true today. See, because we've been put down ever since they reached our ground. We taught them our ways for countless days, but as soon as they knew enough, they decided to reveal their bluff. Friends we were no longer, and now they were here to warmonger. Our land and our place, our culture they defaced. But when the war began and our ancestors decided to fight Japan, despite the lack of rights and fighting with nothing but whites, they took up their guns and arose with the sun. They fought at each other's side, but being Aboriginal had no pride, hiding away their true race because being black had no place. Kokoda is a story of mateship, but ever since that first ship, Australia has been a place where the original race has no face. I know this might be hard to hear, but we're sick of living in fear, that the true story is never told because nobody is ever that bold. Moving forward, we need to be one, no matter which one of us held the gun, respecting those we lost, but at what cost. As I stand here with my back to the sun, our true fight has only just begun, because our Kokoda walk was just a small piece of a major fight for the right we call peace. Thank you.